There's a place on Earth where the average citizen is worth over $2 million. A tiny principality smaller than New York's Central Park, yet home to more billionaires per capita than anywhere else in the world. Monaco, the playground of the ultra-wealthy, where 1 in every 3 residents is a millionaire, where there's no income tax, and where the police outnumber citizens to maintain a perfect veneer of safety and luxury. But behind the glittering facade of wealth and glamour lies a hidden world few outsiders ever see. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the secretive lives of Monaco's elite, their unwritten rules, their closed-door dealings, and the true cost of admission to this exclusive club. In the next hour, you'll discover how Monaco's wealthy really live. And it's nothing like what they show on Instagram. From secret citizenship requirements they don't advertise, to the invisible hierarchy that determines who really belongs, to the dark underbelly of a tax haven that's been called a sunny place for shady people. And I'll reveal the one thing that even Monaco's wealthiest residents fear. Something so powerful it keeps them awake at night despite all their security and money. Stay with me, because the truth about Monaco's elite is stranger than fiction. And once you see it, you'll never look at wealth the same way again. At just 0.78 square miles, Monaco is the second smallest independent state in the world, after Vatican City. But unlike the Vatican, this isn't a place where vows of poverty are taken. Quite the opposite. To become a resident of Monaco, you need to open a Monaco bank account and deposit at least 500,000 euros. But that's just the beginning. You'll also need to purchase or rent property, and not just any property. This studio apartment, 2.3 million euros. That's over $2.5 million for 30 square meters, about the size of a standard hotel room. That makes Monaco real estate the most expensive in the world, averaging around $60,000 per square meter. What we don't tell potential buyers up front is that having money isn't enough. The government performs extensive background checks. They want to know your reputation, your business dealings, your associates. They can reject your residency application without explanation. Monaco's population has remained remarkably stable at around 38,000 for decades, despite having a waiting list of the wealthy desperate to get in. That's because Monaco carefully controls its growth and its admissions. Even after you've secured residency, Monegasque citizenship remains elusive. You must live there for at least 10 years before you can even apply. And even then, citizenship is rarely granted. Less than 9,000 people hold Monegasque citizenship, making it one of the most exclusive passports on Earth. Monaco maintains its strict exclusivity through an extensive surveillance system. The principality has over 900 police officers for just 38,000 residents, giving it the highest police-to-population ratio in the world. And that's not counting the 24-hour video surveillance covering nearly every inch of public space. One senior security consultant told me, Monaco knows exactly who enters and who leaves. The license plate recognition system logs every vehicle. The yacht harbor has underwater sensors. Nothing moves in Monaco without the authorities knowing about it. But here's what you really need to understand about Monaco's extreme selectivity. It's not just about keeping criminals out. It's about creating the ultimate luxury good, exclusivity itself. And once you're in, you'll discover there's a whole new set of unwritten rules to navigate. The visible wealth you see is just the price of admission. The real Monaco elite play a much deeper game, a game where money is just the beginning. Coming up, the invisible hierarchy of Monaco's society, where even billionaires can find themselves at the bottom, and the shocking truth about how Monaco's wealthiest residents really make their money. That's when we return. You might think that in a principality where wealth is the common denominator, all rich people would be equal. You'd be wrong. Monaco operates on a complex, unspoken social hierarchy that sorts its residents with ruthless precision. At the top, of course, is the Grimaldi royal family, led by Prince Albert II, who has ruled Monaco since 2005. The Grimaldis have controlled Monaco for over 700 years, making them one of the world's oldest ruling families. When Prince Rainier III married American actress Grace Kelly in 1956, it wasn't just a fairy tale romance. It was a strategic alliance that brought Hollywood glamour and international attention to Monaco, transforming its image forever. Below the royals are Monaco's old families, the native Monegasques, who can trace their ancestry back generations. Despite being outnumbered by wealthy expatriates, these families wield significant influence and receive special privileges, from preferential housing to reserved government positions. The true social currency in Monaco isn't just money, it's time. How long your family has been here matters enormously. New money might buy property, but it can't buy history. I've seen billionaires snubbed at events because they're considered too new. Monaco's social calendar revolves around key events: the Grand Prix, the Monaco Yacht Show, the Rose Ball. Where you're seen, who invites you, and which balcony you watch the race from communicates your exact place in the hierarchy. Even Monaco's geography enforces hierarchy. The most prestigious address? Les Florelis, where apartments face directly onto the Grand Prix circuit. As one resident told me, in Monaco there's Sea View, Garden View, and Grand Prix View, and they're priced accordingly. But the real inner circle consists of those invited to Monaco's most exclusive club, the Société des Bains de Mer, or SBM. Founded in 1863, SBM controls Monaco's most prestigious venues, including the Casino de Monte Carlo and Hôtel de Paris. Membership costs over 100,000 euros annually, but money alone won't get you in. You need sponsorship from existing members and approval from a committee with ties to the royal family. The tourists taking pictures outside the casino? That's not Monaco, explains one longtime resident. The real Monaco happens behind closed doors, in private homes and invitation-only events where smartphones are banned and discretion is paramount. Monaco has been home to Formula One drivers, tennis stars, pop singers, and fashion designers. But celebrity doesn't guarantee acceptance into the inner circle. Which brings us to the most fascinating aspect of Monaco's social structure: how the elite actually make their money. Because despite its reputation as a playground for the idle rich, Monaco's wealthiest residents are anything but idle. In fact, what happens behind the closed doors of Monaco's penthouses and offices would shock most outsiders. Some of the world's biggest business deals are quietly negotiated here, far from the prying eyes of regulators and tax authorities. When we come back, I'll take you inside the secret economy of Monaco, where fortunes are made and lost in ways that the average person can hardly imagine. And we'll reveal the surprising vulnerability that haunts even the most powerful residents of this seemingly perfect paradise. Monaco's harbor gleams with billions of dollars worth of yachts, but these vessels aren't just toys. They're mobile offices for some of the world's most aggressive deal makers. Conducting business in Monaco isn't about flashy offices, explains one financial advisor who works with ultra-high net worth individuals. It's about privacy. A conversation on a yacht in international waters offers discretion that a boardroom simply can't match. While tourism and casinos were once Monaco's primary industries, today the principality has diversified. Banking, financial services, real estate, and high-end commerce drive the modern economy, all catering to the ultra-wealthy. Monaco's most famous feature is its tax policy. No personal income tax for residents, except French citizens, who still pay French income tax under a special agreement. No capital gains tax, no wealth tax. Minimal business taxes for companies that do most of their business outside Monaco. But what many don't realize is that Monaco isn't just a place to park money. It's where serious wealth is actively managed and grown. The stereotype of the idle rich couldn't be further from the truth. Monaco's wealthiest work incredibly hard. They're constantly traveling, constantly connected. The difference is, they're working to grow their own fortunes, not someone else's. Monaco's private banks manage over 100 billion euros in assets. But the real action happens in family offices, private wealth management firms dedicated to a single family's fortune. Over 100 family offices operate in Monaco, each managing hundreds of millions, sometimes billions. In recent years, Prince Albert II has pushed to diversify Monaco's economy beyond its tax haven status, promoting technology, education, and sustainable development. Monaco now hosts tech incubators and startup accelerators alongside its traditional financial institutions. But make no mistake, tax advantages remain the principality's main attraction, and this has created a complex relationship with neighboring countries and international regulators. While not technically a member of the European Union, Monaco maintains close ties with France and operates within the EU Customs Union. It has signed tax information exchange agreements with many countries and has taken steps to improve financial transparency. Yet critics argue that Monaco remains a privileged enclave that allows the super rich to avoid contributing their fair share to global society. Monaco residents often do business throughout Europe while basing themselves in a tax-free zone, notes one tax policy expert. They enjoy the benefits of European infrastructure, security, and markets without contributing proportionally to their upkeep. Monaco's elite counter these criticisms by pointing to their philanthropic activities. The principality hosts numerous charity galas each year, raising millions for causes ranging from environmental protection to medical research. Prince Albert II himself has made environmental protection a priority, launching his foundation in 2006 to tackle climate change, biodiversity loss, and water management. But beneath the sparkling surface of success and security, a current of unease runs through Monaco's wealthiest circles. Despite all their money, power, and connections, Monaco's elite face threats that no amount of wealth can fully protect against. When we return, the dark side of extreme wealth concentration and the surprising vulnerability that keeps Monaco's billionaires up at night, plus the coming changes that threaten to upend Monaco's privileged position. Stay with us for the most revealing segment yet. With the highest police-to-resident ratio in the world and nearly universal CCTV coverage, Monaco is often called the safest square mile on Earth. The crime rate is so low that locals joke they can leave their diamonds on cafe tables without worry. But this security comes at a price beyond the financial, a price paid in freedom, privacy, and authenticity. Monaco residents live in a beautiful fishbowl, explains privacy consultant Marianne Jacquet. Yes, you're protected from conventional crime, but you're also constantly observed by security services, by staff, by other residents. Nothing goes unnoticed. Monaco's elite rely on an army of service workers, housekeepers, chefs, drivers, yacht crews, personal assistants. The average high-net-worth household in Monaco employs between 5 and 15 staff members, many of whom commute daily from France or Italy. The staff know everything, confides one former household manager who worked for 3 different billionaire families. They see you at your worst and best. They know your secrets, your habits, your weaknesses. That creates a peculiar vulnerability. This loss of privacy extends to family life. One Monaco resident described raising children in the principality as growing up in a beautiful prison. My kids were followed by security everywhere. Their friends were vetted. Their activities were limited by security concerns. We had a beautiful life materially, but they missed out on normal childhood experiences. Growing up among extreme wealth creates its own challenges. Monaco's private schools are filled with the children of billionaires, creating an environment where a 10,000 euro handbag might be considered casual wear and where birthday parties might include performances by world-famous musicians. But the most surprising vulnerability expressed by Monaco's wealthy? Loneliness and isolation. It's hard to know who your real friends are when you have this much money, admits one resident who inherited a fortune in his 20s. Are people interested in you, or what you can do for them? That question never goes away. The ultimate status symbols, the mega yachts, the penthouse apartments, the private jets, often sit empty or underutilized. Many of Monaco's most expensive properties are occupied just a few weeks each year. I know people with every material possession imaginable who are desperately unhappy, says one longtime Monaco resident in her 70s. They've optimized their lives for wealth preservation, but forgotten to build real human connection. This isolation contributes to another little discussed reality of Monaco life: high rates of depression, anxiety, and substance abuse among the ultra-wealthy. Several discrete mental health clinics in and around Monaco cater exclusively to high net worth individuals. Extreme wealth doesn't exempt you from human suffering, explains Dr. Elena Moreau, who treats wealthy patients in Monaco. In fact, it can exacerbate certain problems. When you can have anything materially, but still feel empty inside, that creates a profound existential crisis. And then there's the uncertainty about Monaco's future. Despite its seemingly impregnable position, the principality faces genuine threats to its privileged status. International pressure for tax harmonization continues to grow. The OECD's Global Minimum Corporate Tax Initiative and the European Union's ongoing efforts to eliminate tax havens both pose challenges to Monaco's model. Additionally, climate change poses an existential threat to this coastal city-state. With much of Monaco's territory reclaimed from the sea, rising water levels could literally shrink the principality's already minimal territory. As we look toward Monaco's future, one question remains. In a world increasingly concerned with inequality and environmental sustainability, can this enclave of extreme privilege survive unchanged? When we return for our final segment, Monaco's bold plan to ensure its future by literally expanding into the sea, and we'll meet the new generation of Monaco elite who are challenging the principality's traditions. The future of this glittering microstate may surprise you. While most coastal cities worry about losing land to rising seas, Monaco is taking a different approach, creating new land. The Portier Cove Land Reclamation Project, expected to be completed in 2025, will add 15 acres to Monaco's territory at a cost of over 2 billion euros. This new eco-district will feature luxury apartments, public spaces, and an artificial beach, all built to the highest environmental standards, according to the developers. Every aspect of this project must be sustainable, explains marine engineer Sophie Durand. From the materials used to the energy systems to the marine habitat protection measures, Prince Albert has made it clear that Monaco's expansion cannot come at the expense of the Mediterranean ecosystem. This emphasis on sustainability reflects a significant shift in Monaco's identity under Prince Albert II's leadership. Since taking the throne in 2005, he has positioned Monaco as a leader in ocean conservation, renewable energy, and sustainable development. Even Monaco's signature industry, yachting, is changing. The Monaco Yacht Show now features a dedicated exhibition of environmentally friendly vessels. Hydrogen power, solar technology, and sustainable materials are the new status symbols among forward-thinking owners. The next generation of wealthy clients doesn't just want the biggest yacht. They want the most innovative, the most sustainable, notes yacht designer Philippe Briand. They're willing to sacrifice some traditional luxury elements to reduce their environmental impact. Monaco is also positioning itself as a technology hub, with particular focus on clean tech, fintech, and digital security. The Monaco Tech Incubator, launched in 2017, supports promising startups with funding, expertise, and international connections. But perhaps the most significant change is happening within Monaco's elite themselves, particularly among the younger generation. My parents' generation came to Monaco primarily for tax reasons, admits one 30-something resident whose family has lived in the principality for decades. My generation is more concerned with purpose. We ask, what are we doing with our privilege? How can we use our resources to create positive change? This shift in values is evident in the growing prominence of impact investing, sustainable business practices, and hands-on philanthropy among Monaco's younger elite. Rather than simply donating to galas, they're launching foundations, building social enterprises, and demanding accountability. Monaco's educational institutions are evolving to reflect these changing priorities. The International School of Monaco now emphasizes environmental stewardship, global citizenship, and social responsibility alongside traditional academic excellence. These children will inherit extraordinary resources and influence, says Education Director Claudia Estrada. Our job is to ensure they understand the responsibility that comes with that privilege. We're preparing them to be ethical stewards, not just wealthy consumers. Of course, significant challenges remain. Monaco's extreme concentration of wealth continues to create tensions with neighboring regions where ordinary workers struggle with rising costs of living. Over 50,000 people commute into Monaco daily, more than the principality's entire population. Most can't afford to live where they work, instead traveling from increasingly distant communities as housing costs rise throughout the region. Monaco's wealth creates a ripple effect that extends far beyond its borders, explains urban planner Jean-Marc Laurent. Housing prices in neighboring French communities have tripled in the past 20 years. This creates a paradox. Monaco needs these workers, but its very success makes their lives more difficult. As we conclude our exploration of Monaco's elite, one thing becomes clear. This tiny principality represents both the heights of human achievement and the contradictions of extreme wealth concentration. Monaco showcases humanity's capacity for creating beauty, driving innovation, and building security. Yet it also reveals the limitations of wealth, how even unlimited resources cannot eliminate human vulnerability, isolation, or environmental constraints. The next chapter of Monaco's story is still being written by a new generation of elite who have different values, different priorities, and different visions for what this glittering enclave could become. Perhaps Monaco's greatest value isn't as a tax haven or a luxury playground, but as a laboratory, a place where we can observe in concentrated form both the possibilities and limitations of extreme wealth. What happens here may offer lessons for all of us about what money can and cannot buy, and what truly constitutes the good life. In a world of increasing inequality, environmental challenges, and social unrest, Monaco stands as both a warning and a possibility, a place where the privileged few are beginning to grapple with the question that may define our collective future. What is the true purpose of wealth? If you found this deep dive into Monaco's elite world fascinating, hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss our investigations into the world's most exclusive enclaves. What aspect of Monaco's elite society surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below.